Welcome to Best of the Backroads. Today we're going to add a battery tender dongle to Sid's Trail 125 as well as wire it for a USB port. Let's get started.
Okay, are you ready to do this?
I don't know, are you?
I have no idea what I'm doing, so you're just going to walk me through it.
Okay, today
Are
we're...
you like YouTubed or have instructions?
No, we're just going to do it. I kind of know what we're doing. I looked at the diagrams. All it is wiring a bike. This is simple. I've done it to DRZ. I've done it on the BMW. We can do it to the Trail 125. I'll walk you through it.
Okay.
What we are going to do is we're going to add a battery tender so that this winter I can just plug it in and work it into the mix with my other motorcycles. I tend to leave them a couple days on the battery tender and move them around through the winter so the battery stays topped off.
Because I'm not going to be commuting on this thing when it's 20 degrees.
Right.
You can do that all you want, darling, but I don't have the gear.
Right. So that's what we're going to do. But while we're doing that, we're also going to install the USB port to the motorcycle since we're planning a trip. And
Yeah, because I need one.
Well, and the CT90 does, with its 6-volt amazing capacity, there's nothing I'm going to be charging. So we're going to put a dual USB port so you can charge my phone and yours.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So there's going to be some grinding on your bike.
Like with the sandpaper or grinder?
Yeah, we'll use a Dremel. So
Okay.
what we're going to do is we need a Dremel, and I'm going to, as usual with these videos, we're going to stop it and I'll tell you what all you need.
Today we'll be using a Dremel tool with a grinding head. We'll have the battery tender cables that we'll be installing. The USB port we'll be installing, as well as a phone holder. You'll need a Phillips screwdriver, some posi taps, we'll be using the dark blue ones, electrical tape, wire strippers, and a wire cutter.
The first thing we're going to do, and anytime you do something on a motorcycle, we remove the negative lead to the battery. And that way we won't fry anything in the bike or ourselves.
Okay, where's the negative lead?
It's in here. So we got to get in here first.
Okay.
We're going to access your battery.
Now, one thing I didn't know how to do is to get the tool out so that we can access the battery.
All right. So, well, there's two things we're going to do. We're going to have to unscrew that right there. Let's take that screw out.
Yeah,
And then a lot of people don't know how this works, but come around to this side. These fasteners in here, right here, these fasteners, you want to push down in the middle with that Allen key. Probably we might need to get a screwdriver. But if you push down on that middle section, it should just pop right up. There you go. Kind of slides outward toward the front, I think. There we go. When you ever have these, don't set it on its top. Just kind of set it over near your workstation, flat down like that. So we do have the battery here. All right, so we pulled off this plate that's on top, and we're just going to set that to the side. And if you grab your screwdriver, we need to undo the negative part of the battery. Just unscrew the negative portion of the battery right there. There we go. Nice. Then once it's unscrewed, we're going to take this and we're just going to pop it where it's not near any metal. So I'm going to put it down, just down low over here. Next, we're going to go ahead and there are 2 Phillips head screws on each side of the light. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pop off the headlight. Okay, and when you pop off the headlight, that one should pinch top and bottom, that connector. Just pinch the top and bottom together and undo it. Most of the USB ports that are standard are a little too large, the port Honda made, by millimeters. If I stick this in here, just like that, it's just the threads that don't come out. So what we're going to do is we're going to enlarge this hole a little bit, kind of go around there and take a few millimeters off. And what we're going to use is we're going to use a Dremel with a grinding bit. Have you ever used a Dremel with a grinding bit?
No, I've used like the little wheel to cut things
Okay, well, it's the same deal. We're gonna get in here, and what you're gonna do is come over to this side, and you're just gonna grind around the edge. Guys, it took about 2.5 minutes to slightly grind it down. It turned out really nice. It's pretty soft aluminum, so I used the grinding wheel off an engraving kit for a Dremel. Worked just fine. The red goes to the one marked positive, the red wire.
Does it go like down like this way?
Yep, just like that. It should fit on there. I'll let you do it. And once it's on there tight, push that blue thing up over it. And then push the negative on the negative and do the same thing. And then what you want to do is feed that down through. So we're going to strip wires next.
Strip wires that are actually on my bike?
No, we're going to strip these wires. We're going to be nice to your bike. We're going to just pierce wires that are on your bike. What we want to do is get these wires, the positive and negative wires from the USB, and we're going to wire them into the headlight. So what I'm going to do is I have to find a way to snake them through here. Behind the headlight. Oh, this is a good easy spot. Oh, there's plenty of holes back. We have ascertained that the black and yellow wire, and I'll give you a close-up in a minute, the black and yellow wire is the hot wire, the red lead, the positive. And the green wires in here will go one to the right turn signal and one to the left turn signal, and they are both zero negative wires, so they're their grounding wires. So we're going to attach the red wire here to the hot key power, and key power means it's only power when the key's in it.
Okay.
And that's why we're doing this. We don't want you to have to turn on and off a USB. We don't want it to run all the time.
My USB is only on when my light's on.
When your bike's on.
Okay.
We're going to put it to the ignition switch.
Oh, but my light's on all the time when my bike's on, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah. Do you think it also makes the wires cleaner because the headlight's right here? You don't have
Yeah.
to wire down to the battery?
Yeah, we don't have to wire around this. I mean, this USB will turn every time the headlight turns. So we're going to have a short wire.
Yellow and black wire, that should be the hot wire, if we're lucky.
Not if we're lucky. Do you know that that's the yellow and black one?
I know pretty good that that's the yellow and black wire. According to the diagram, black and yellow should be it. These are posi-tap connectors, and the way they work is we're going to feed this wire,
The red wire?
the red wire, it'll come down in here and we'll just screw it in. So it creates a tight connection there. But the big deal why we're using this, why we're using these posi-tap connectors, is this is going to pierce the black and yellow wire. So you're gonna screw this in to actually pierce into the black and yellow powered wire. That way we don't actually have to cut and solder
Strip that, okay.
and strip that in there. We're just gonna tap into it, okay? And so what you'll do is you're gonna lay you can drop that side there. What you're gonna do is you're gonna lay the black and white wire, black and yellow wire in that hole.
Right.
And then just screw this down on top of it. Okay. You're lined up, that's black and yellow.
Do I want to pierce through the yellow or it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter, the black and yellow is all one wire.
Okay.
Just screw it down, kind of tight.
Okay.
Feel pretty tight?
Yeah.
Either green that you can get to better. Yeah, both. The one's the left turn signal and one's the right turn signal.
We're just grounding.
And this is just the ground. Yeah, this is just the ground wire. And you want to get that in there seated good and it'll line it up for you, basically.
Okay.
Okay. Yep, see how it's just on the green? And then just screw it in kind of tight. You should feel some resistance as you...
I just thought if I turned it the right angle, you might be able to see down in there as the pointy thing is coming in.
Tight, tight, tight.
Okay.
Okay. There we go. Now, yeah. Aren't they neat? No soldering. Now, I wouldn't put these anywhere that would get significant amounts of rain on a motorcycle, but because it's inside the headlight housing, not much moisture is going to hit it at all.
So
Because it's not a
it feels like I should just be able to pull that straight out.
Yeah, I bet you won't be able to. It should be pretty snug.
Okay.
We'll check them in a minute here.
Okay.
You want to pull on the end of the wire?
Yeah, it is pretty snug.
Yeah. Okay. So you should
I'm
be
not
able
gonna
to
pull with all my might or anything, but yeah.
Yeah, no, you can pull with the end of the wires and check, and they all should be good. Now, everything plugged in, the black is plugged back into the black, everything's plugged in.
The gray is our headlight.
But we're not gonna do that yet. We're gonna turn the bike on and see if this USB has power.
Okay.
So, okay? If all goes well, we will have power. So turn the key on. We do have power, and then we're gonna flip this up. It has an on-off switch here. 11.7, you have a 12-volt battery. That's perfect.
Nice.
Nice. So
now can I let me ask you this. Since this is telling me it's 11.7, is that a way I can check my battery?
Absolutely. All right, just so there's a top lip, so you kind of put it in on that lip and then push it down. Looks like we put it all together and it works. How awesome is that?
We don't want to do this because we don't have the battery connected down there.
That's because we've got one more thing to put on.
Okay.
We're going to put on a battery tender cable.
And this isn't running through the headlight. Obviously, it's through the headlight.
No, actually, I like this to run directly to the battery. So, because this is going to charge your battery in the winter.
Right.
So we want this to automatically go right to the battery. Because this is directly wired to the battery, we do want to keep the fuse. And this is the fuse right here.
So why does that fuse look different than that little inline fuse?
Just different kinds of fuses. Some are inline, and this is more of a car fuse that you normally see, the blade type.
So is that why they come with the little loops on the end? We're just cutting off those little loops on everything, right?
Nope. This is actually, we're going to put this on the negative and run the screw that's down there. We're going to put it in between the
right.
terminal.
Okay, yeah.
And then we're going to do that positive to positive, negative to negative. That's all
Okay.
we're going to do. We want to put the positive on first. Last thing we'll do is put the
Are
attach
they
the negative.
red and black in the bike? Are they red and
Yep, red and black on the bike.
black? Okay, so let me ask you a question while we're sitting here with this thing open. If I were ever in a situation where I needed to jump my bike to get it started, is that a thing, or do I just use my
You just use your kickstart.
a kickstart?
Yeah, you'll always kickstart this bike. This is just to keep the battery fresh. All right, so that's in there. They're both tight. We're going to turn on the bike to see if that's true.
Can I start it?
Yeah. Here we go. Everything works. Everything works. We're back to working. We do have to put the battery tray back on. Once I zip tie it, it'll just sit right up here. You always want to place this port somewhere easy to get to. And with all the body casing, I could have tried to run it up here, but there's not a lot of space. There's a nice space here, or you can come out the back. I think Sid's is going to work great here. The way I'm going to test it is, this is a pump I have for my DRZ, and when we go off-road riding, we air up and down our tires a lot. And so if this is hooked to the battery and it's working, if this is plugged correctly into the battery, the light's working, and the pump works. So no trouble, pump's working, all that's hooked in, we know the USB's right, the motorcycle starts. When you put this one in, the back corner toward me on the muffler side needs to go in first, and then it just slides back, and it all just clips into place, just like that. And then we take the screw.
It's that big one.
And it's the big screw with an end on it. And
It's a little bit different than the screws that hold down the rest of the plastic pieces.
And just screw that in. And then we got to put the little black clips in, I think. The trick to the little black clips, if you don't know it, let me get up close so you can see it. Just pop them out a little bit, see how it's raised? It's raised a little bit. Well, then we're gonna set this down, and the last thing we're gonna do is push this button down to lock it in place. So that's the trick to the fastener. Okay, so push down the outside ring around it first, and then just push down the top one like a little button. Is it all the way down? There you go. No.
I can feel it. Oh.
Oh, there you go. Snap.